Hello guys, here with Pyramid. You're back with another video on Python RPG. In this video we're going to be looking at classes and how to read them from files and importing them into a list. Or a dictionary or something like that. So to begin, let's actually create the file. So I'm over in the Python RPG directory. I'm just going to create a new folder. This folder is going to be called data. And in this data folder, what we're going to have is we're going to have here class, and we're going to create here a new text document, which we're going to call over here warrior. Edit with Notepad++, my favorite text editor. Over here we're going to have is, for now we're just going to have two values. We're going to have name, which is going to work. Sometimes your file name might be different to the name you want it to be called. So that's why we're going to have the name over here. And we're going to have also HP. And let's give it 10 out of, I'm just giving values 10 to start with. Let's also then add some other ones. So let's add over here is another one. We're going to add is going to be night. We're going to edit this one in Notepad++ again. So this is a night. We're then going to add is another one. Let's call this monk. Monk. I'm going to do a Notepad++ again. I'm going to say monk. Then let's also add is a assassin, or call it a rogue or something like that. Assassin. We're also going to have one final one, which is going to be is a mage. For wizard, I'm going to call it mage. Mage. Okay. So here are 5 classes which we're going to have. Because you can add more or less if you want. And over here, I'm going to say what class do you belong to. So we're actually going to need to get is the available classes. And what we could do is we could create a class called character classes. No, our character class. We could create a class called character class. So over here, what we could do is we could do similarly. We could just do copy that over here. We can have here is the name of that class along with HP, or with its, I'm going to call this starting HP instead though. Starting HP, not starting, starting HP. Yeah. So here is a character class, which just doesn't change the color the same as the player. That's very interesting. I think Visual Studio has some issues. So what we need to do is we actually need to go through this file or this folder and go through all these files and read them as such. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get over here is I'm going to call this over here. We're going to come over here and get before, yeah, over here. We're going to come over here and we're going to say over here load class. Let's do is going to say load class. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to is actually go through all the files in the folder. And since we've imported OS, what we could say is we could just say over here print os.list directory, or the list die. And if we do that, Control F5, we go over here data python rpg.py and python rpg.py proj. That's a Visual Studio file created for this project. It's fine if you don't have that if you're using the normal Python idle. or any other editor. This is just Visual Studio creates this file. So it does recognize. Oh, I just closed Visual Studio by accident. Oops. As I was saying, so what was I saying? So yeah, it lists all the folders, and one of the folders is the data folder. Or lists all the files. It lists everything that's in this directory. Doesn't matter if it's a folder, if it's a file, it lists everything. So we get the data. So we want, let's say we want to access the data file. Let's put it here, data. Let's see what happens. It has found a folder. Class has been found. So let's do this, /class. It has found 5 files: assassin.txt, knight.txt, page, mage.txt, monk.txt, and warrior.txt. So it's found all the classes, all the class files. So yeah, so we can live through all of those files if we want to. So what we can say over here is we can say, for file in os.list die data/class, we can say, okay, then print me out the file, please. And as you can see, assassin.txt, knight.txt. What you might have noticed from the previous time we printed out the list directory, it contained a folder and not a file. It contained folders and files. Now, if we're looking for class files, we only want files. There is actually one way to check this. What we can say, we can say over here is if os.path.isFile, and we can pass it file, then print out the file. So this will check to see this will check to see if it's actually a file. Because nothing's happening. Why is nothing happening? That's not gonna make a difference. No. Why is that not working? If os.path.isFile file. What if I just do that? Yes, yes. So this part works because it did detect 2 files, which is true. There were 2 files in the over here. This should have worked. Why is it not working? Can I print the os.path? os.path dot if I put the end of here the file, can I do that? It was blank stuff. Interesting. Okay, what about real path? That one's got to work, right? Yes, so that one works. That gets me the whole path of where this file is found. Okay, so what if I say is file if os path? Does that work? This one's not working as I wanted to, interestingly. Import path, no. That's not what I want. That's interesting. Why is it not? Yes. It lists it, but it doesn't. If I was over here, knight.txt. data slash class. That printed yes a bunch of times. Interesting. Okay. Do I have to do this? I think I've just found the I found the issue, I think. Then print me out the file, please. Okay, I think I just found it. Debugging this function there. So here we go. Assassin, yeah, so that's all working. I just need to put it in the directory plus the file. Okay, that's fine. Then what I should probably do... No, I don't actually. Good. No, that's fine. Okay, so what we probably then want to do is return each of these. What I'm going to put because it's just loads. Or actually, we're going to call this get class files. Get class files. Actually, instead, so over here we're going to say. Oh yeah, I've not even called any of these. Okay, fine, no worries. Get class files, and then that will lead us to call a new function. I'm going to say load here. Let's say here create read class file, and what's going to be passed to it is going to be this. This is going to get passed, right? Yeah, this is going to get passed onto it. So then we can say here's with a def read class file, and we're going to just put a class file path. And here we're going to say with is it with I'm going to say here is with open class file path as file. Let's print out here the file and it's what happens. Low class not defined. Oh, yeah, I must have put it somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Okay. We're going to call this called get class files, and that just prints out over here in memory or the object data about it in mode read. That's fine if it's a mode read, whatever. But of course, what we want to do is actually want to read the file or the data that's in it. So we're going to call this data equals file dot read. So let's see what this results in. If I can hit print and data, what's this results in? Let's see. Okay, so we get some information over here. We get here name equals assassin HP. Yeah, all good, right? We get all this. Nice. Now we could put that all into data, or what we could say instead is we could just loop around it. So what we could say over here for line in file, print me line. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if we decide to go through this method instead. Once again, we get the same thing. There's over here space. Why the space here is because in the file, we press enter, which creates a slash n, new line. That's why there's a little space here. Space again. So yeah, so there's that way. Or, you know, or like I said, we could just say, we could put into a variable called data, then loop through it if you wanted to. But no need, we could just loop through it and just add stuff. So what we can say over here is we can say over here is what we could say, thinking, we could either do the data what we can say is if because it's just getting called again. Yeah, so it's fine. Okay, so I'm just thinking about, is this not all in one folder? So it's fine. All in one file. Yeah, I'm just thinking. I'm just remembering this. It's not all in one file. So yeah, so the way I was thinking was it's fine. So we're saying here is if we don't even need an if. We don't need to check because what we can do is we can just we don't actually need to do an if a check. On this statement, what we can do is we can say over here is character class name is equal to, for now we're going to say equal to nothing, but then what we can also say over here is character class HP is equal, we'll say 0 for now. What I can say over here is I can say over here, character class equal to the line dot replace. What we can say is we can say we want to replace name is equal with nothing, and dot trim. If that's correct, is it dot trim? Let me check the character class name. No, it's not trim. So how's it again? Yeah, let me remove the trim for now. The trim is just used to remove white spaces. Okay, so if we replace name equals with nothing, that just gives us this. Interesting. So yeah, we don't want to use the line dot replace. We want to use the line dot split, I believe. So what we want to do is we want to say line dot split, and we want to split by the equal sign. Line dot split. Yeah, but as you can see, there's a little space over here, which is not what we want. First of all, we want is actually the actual, not the 0th value, which would be HP. You want actually next one after it, which is the actual value. But interesting, it's only loading HP stuff. So that's very interesting. Why is that the case? If I print over here, is it because that's the last? That's the last one. It could be. Haha. Interesting. That could be actually. I should do is, yeah, this way is not going to work then, isn't it? I need to do potentially is data equals file dot read lines, because there's more than one line. If I then print over here the data, that's when it like splits up. Okay. Although what I don't want is the /n, yeah. But yeah, we need to do is dot read lines, because what's going on currently, it's if you were to print, when you print out the line, it's what's actually doing is it's getting the if you look at that, this is being treated as one whole string. It's being treated as one whole string. So when you say split, it goes to the lowest, or the it just goes to the bottom part of it splits this one instead of this one, because it's being treated as one whole string. That's the problem with this way of doing it. So what we have to do is we have to say dot read lines. We don't want to say dot read, because that will just read it as one whole string. We want to say dot read lines. So that means read each line and then put it into an array. So yeah, we're gonna need that. But what I would like to do is I'd like to replace all these /n's, because I don't want them, because they're a nuisance. And there's actually a little trick you can do. Well, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a trick. It's just a different way of doing it to actually get rid of these /n's. What we can do is we can actually say dot read. Okay, read it to us as a whole file. Just read it to us as a whole file, as a whole string. I mean, if you just read the whole file as one whole string, right? And also comment this out. We're going to use the free speech marks as one way to comment out the code. If you want to comment out a whole block of code instead of just the hashtag #, whatever you want to call it. So yeah. Oh yeah, we need to print the data. Oops, need to print the data. So we do Control F5, right? So print over here. So this is actually one whole string, right? This is one whole string. As you can see, it's not on the list at all or anything like that. But what we can then do is we can say that read the whole file as a list, as a string. Read the whole file as a string, and then let's split the lines. Let's split it up into lines, and that does this for us. Excellent. And as you can see, there's absolutely no /ns anymore. Fantastic. Now what we need to do is we need to go through this list and split up some data. So what we need to say here is we need to say for. You can say for. I'm just going to still say for line in data. I want you to, let's just print out, for now I'm just going to print out line.split =1. Let's see what happens. We go here, 2 values, assassin and 10. So yeah, that works. Knight and 10, mage and 10, monk and 10, warrior and 10. So that's all working very nicely for us now. But I don't know if you can notice, there seems to be some space in it, and that's the white space I was talking about. I've tried it with .trim, but I'm getting confused with another language, C#. That's how you do it. You say .trim. But no, in Python, it's .strip is what it is. So what we can say over here is we can then say .strip. And as you can see, no more white spaces. Excellent. So now we've got that. So now what we can do is let's get rid of this data. But what we can say over here, now we can just say, oh yeah, character class name is equal to this. Right? Can we say that? Well, it's going to loop for each line, and we're not checking to see if the line's equal to that. So we're not saying, oh yeah, if line is equal to this, if line or line dot contains name, then split it. We're just always splitting and passing it into the class name. So what's going to happen is that's now going to print actually 10. So if we then print out character class name, that's just going to print out 10. Like I said, the reason why is because it's looping through. Okay, so here's the first line. Okay, let's split it and let's get warrior. It then goes, okay, here's the next line. Let's assign character class to equal to the split as well, equals 10. So it's overwritten the warrior to 10 because we're not having any if statements. See, oh yeah, if the line contains warrior, if the line contains name, then we want to split it and assign to character class. Then if it's HP, then we want to assign that to a character class HP variable instead. We could do it like that. Another way we could do is what we could say is we could do this. Instead of looping through, what we can say is we can just say, oh yeah, character class, right, is just equal to the data 0th is equal to data 0th, right? We could just say that it's equal to the first line, However, issues arise with that. Firstly, let's actually check to see if I put a blank space. Let's see if that picks up. If that's at all picked up in the data variable. Let's see if anything gets picked up about that. So, as you can see, there's a lot of white spaces over here. Firstly, there is a lot of white spaces over here. That's a bad start, right? That's bad. Secondly, what else is bad is what if, for whatever reason, someone decides to not put name as the first part in the file, and they put HP first, then name. So what if it was the other way around? Like that. Then the value 10 will be equal to the character class name instead. So that's where issues like that start to arise, and that's what's bad. We don't want that. We want try the code to be as flexible as possible. We don't want to constrain or if someone does a mistake by not putting in the right order, the whole system doesn't then work. We don't want any of that. So what we're going to have to do is we're just going to have to put some if statements. We're going to say, yeah, if the line dot contains name, then we know it's the character class. If it dot contains HP, we know we're now discussing the health points. So we have to say if line if line contains, or no, not if line contains. Again, that's a different language. If name is in line, would be a better way of doing it. Then do this for me, please. Nice print. Or Control F5. Assassin, Knight, Mage, Warrior, Monk, Warrior. See? Fantastic. And else if. I'm saying else if over here. I could do it. I could say if instead of else if. But I'll just put else if. Because imagine if the person puts it here. Yeah, name, HP. Okay. No. If the person does that and we say, yeah, if name equals line, then we say, oh yeah, if HP, then also then run this line of code. This line of code should only be run once. So that's why we use it if and else if. Right? Because if it was, you know, if it contains HP, then it'll be like, okay, so yeah, let's split it into character class, name, and then yeah. Then I'll just put there if it contains HP. If it contains HP, and we then say over here, take character class HP, what's going to happen is, it's going to be like, okay, so if name's in line, okay, so it is in line, name is in this line, then we're going to split it. Then we say if HP, then it could potentially come here and say, potentially I'm saying, if line contains HP, yeah, it does right over here, we're going to set the character class HP to equal Royal. Now we don't want that now. Although that won't happen because we're in a for loop, so it's done that line. Well, actually, it would happen, wouldn't it? It would still happen. Let's actually test it out. It would still happen. Wouldn't it? Or won't it? It won't happen because... What happened? No? Okay. Like I said, it potentially may happen, but I don't think it's happening because it's done this if statement. So it's done the if statement, so then it just goes to the next line, which is this one. Well, if this one was... Yeah. That must be why. So that, but anyway, it's best as else if, yeah, because we only want this to run once. So it's just best practice to use else if. Even though with if there's not an issue. So yeah, if name, if else HP, yep, so that's fun. Okay. And what we're gonna want to pass is we're then gonna say over here, create over here then is gonna be over here, create, which is gonna be actually inside of it. If we go inside this loop, we're gonna say over here, yeah, we're gonna say over here, create class. Just best practice, just use if and else if. Even though if makes not work, it's just best practice to use if and else if. Else if in line. Because we only want this if statement to ever run once. We don't want, if for whatever reason, this if statement might, if we had if, it might potentially go on to other if statements. It's best to avoid that. Even though it's unlikely will happen, it's just it'll reduce the risk of that happening if we just use if and else if. Def create class. So all this now is going to do is we're going to pass over here is class name. Yeah, we're just going to put this name actually. But although this is going to pass the character class name plus the character class HP, we're just going to call this name and HP. And pass it, and what we're just going to do is we're going to say over here character class. I think that's going to be actually it's going to be no. Let's leave this. So now we're going to pass in name and HP, and then if we call this class 1, it's what happens if I then print over here class 1 dot name, for example. Okay, reference before sign. Is it reference? Is it because you annoyingly want to do this? Oh, I need to declare them before hand potentially. HP is missing. What? What are you talking about? Hold on, let's run that again. What? In it missing one required positional argument, HP. Alright. Print me out the name, and print me out the HP. This video is getting quite long. None. It's still equivalent to none. That's bad. Okay, what the hell's going on over here then? Print line. None. If HP is in line, okay, something's up with this then. HP is right here. Print me out the line. Don't call this for now. So, what the hell's wrong if this is HP equals 10? That's all working, so surely then, I'll just print over here. Is it because I've equaled that to none? Maybe I need to equal it to an integer, not none. Because I'm getting a 10, 10. What if I equal this to 0 instead? Okay, I need to actually... Yeah, because that should then work. Really? 0, okay, that works. Assassin's... Well, actually no, you say assassin 0, that's bad actually, you shouldn't be doing that. To be honest, print me out the line again. And don't want to see that. HP equals... Okay. So, what's wrong? Split. Right. I then want 1. And gets the number. Okay. Then I'm saying dot strip. Is it because it's being treated as a string? If so, let me just deal with that right over here by putting an int over this. Just so it knows to treat this as an integer. Still complaining. Int missing one required positional argument HP. What? Passing it right over here, so let me not create the object class. 0. 10. Okay. Okay. Interesting. It's getting 0 then 10. Why is that the case? Whew, why is that the case? Why is it doing that? Excellent question. This should work as none then. It should still work as none, that shouldn't interfere. But interestingly, it prints out this none. Interesting. Create class gets called. Is it going there? Shouldn't be doing that. Okay, I'm going to do a final trick over here. And that's if character class is not equal to none, and the character HP is not equal to none, then I want you to create the class. Okay, that seems to have solved that issue, interestingly. Okay. Now, hopefully now you're not complaining. Still complaining. Int missing one required positional argument. Character class. Oh. Silly. Yep. Oh. How do I not know that? So, yeah. Now, if I say, yeah, get rid of those. I want you to print out the class name, please. Boom, it prints out, but it does contain speech marks, which I don't like. If I come over here and say character class dot, can I get dot name? That's because it's going to complain because let's print the class name. Is it going to complain? Yeah, it's because type of object has no attribute name. Okay, because what we need to say is what I'm going to do here is going to be like this video is getting quite long. We'll call this class info. So I'm really trying to wrap this video up because this video has actually gone quite long. So I'm going to quickly, what I'm going to quickly do is remove the class info. That was, no, I'm not going to do it that way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create over here is a global variable called character class. It's going to be a global list or array, whatever you want to call it. Character class. And what I'm going to do instead is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come there, not there, where is it? Here. I'm going to say over here, character class dot append character class. So we're going to have an array of the different characters. That's essentially what we're going to have. So yeah. So that's one way we can store all of the character classes that exist. So then, what we can say over here is we can say for character class. And we can't say for class because class is a keyword. Because class to me it's a keyword. So whenever I try to, if I try to say class, as you can see it turns blue. I cannot use that word. So I have to say character class in character class. Print out me the character class dot name. Now what you see is all of the classes now. We've got assassin, knight, mage, a monk, and warrior. Fantastic, we've got all those. However, what you might have noticed right there is that because our text file have speech marks in our names, what will happen is that it will store with speech marks. So you may not want that, especially if we start to say here name, for example, one has no speech marks and one has speech marks. We get this nonsense over here. So what we can do is we can either remove the speech marks in all of our files, or we can just do it programmatically. Now it's best to do programmatically because the user might include speech marks in some files and not others, and that will just cause a lot of confusion. Well, it will cause issues in displaying the same way. We want it to work the same way, so it's best to do it programmatically. So I'm going to put back the speech marks. Actually, I might just leave these ones without and leave the rest with speech marks, and we can just replace them. So we can say over here, we can say, before we do that, we can say over here, line becomes equal to line dot replace, and what we want to replace over here is I want to replace the speech mark with nothing. As you can see, I've used these two instead of these. Because if I do this, for example, and put over here, as you can see, this all turned because it got confused. What you could do is you could just put an escape character or something like that. But I find that the easiest way is just do it like this. If I just do it like that, that'll be fine. No problem. For Control F5, boom. No one has speech marks, and the warrior over here has got no speech marks, but the rest of the files have speech marks. And there's no problem with it. Fantastic. There you go. Done. Fixed. And that'll be the end for this video. And the next video, we're actually going to add on the character class onto the character creation. And if you want to see that video, it's best to subscribe. And if you did like this video, press the like button. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope to see you guys very soon. Goodbye.